Shalom, this is Akoti Yakna, and tonight I'm going to do a video on vegan broccoli cheese casserole. Now first of all, I want to let you know that, like I said, this is vegan cheese. I used a Daia brand cheese, which has no casein in it, and it's delicious and it melts just like regular cheese. And also follow your heart vegan cheese. I will display pictures of these two. Nothing dairy about this at all. Matter of fact, you can find some vegan cheeses and soy cheeses in the store, but many of them have casein in it, and it's not good for you because it causes an excess buildup of mucus. And if you're going to eat a vegan cheese with casein in it, then you might as well eat regular cheese because that's what you want to avoid, especially if you're lactose intolerant. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to name the steps, and I'm going to also list the steps. You will need 2 packs of frozen organic broccoli florets, 1 head of raw broccoli. I like to add the raw broccoli for nutritional value because once you cook your broccoli too much, you're going to cook most of the nutrients out. So I like to keep the nutrients in by also adding some raw broccoli, and it also makes the dish look more interesting. Millet. And this is just like rice. It's a natural grain. It's not a hybrid grain. That's why I prefer to use it. In our society, we're eating so many preserved foods. So I like to, keep my diet as healthy as possible by eating millet instead of rice. And there are natural rices like the wild black rice, but millet is the way to go, at least for me. And it tastes just like rice. Also, you will need a cup of mushrooms. And like I said, you will actually need 1 pack of the Daia vegan cheese. You will need 2 packs of this Follow Your Heart vegan cheese. Now this cheese comes in blocks, so I recommend that once you get it, it takes a long time to melt if you try to just put it in the pot as a block. So what you do is you take it with your hands or a spoon and you crumble it into the pot because the Daia melts more easily than the Follow Your Heart. And moving on, also you will need a little mushroom gravy just for flavor to bring out that mushroom taste. If you're using cream of mushroom soup, you may not need to use the mushroom gravy, but I really don't like to use canned goods. I try to keep aluminum out of the diet as much as possible. So this is a great substitute when combined with the other creams that I will show you. Okay? Also for flavor, this is Bragg's liquid aminos. This is a great substitute for soy sauce. It actually tastes more flavorful than soy sauce, and it's supposed to be good for you. Spice seasoning. Now usually back in the day before I got on my health kick, I would use Tony Chachere's, but this is a great alternative to Tony C's, especially if you're from down south and you like Creole cooking. You will also need 1 tablespoon of cayenne pepper. Actually, if you don't want your casserole spicy or the kids don't like it spicy, you can just reduce that to 1 teaspoon instead of a tablespoon. You will also need 1 cube of the not chicken bouillon. These come in little silver squares inside the box. Or if you don't want to use not chicken, I like it because it tastes like chicken. If you don't want to use that, you can use the garden veggie version of this seasoning. Getting tongue-tied. Also, you will need the tofutti sour cream. This is also vegan, and it's a great substitute, especially if you're doing dishes like fettuccine and stuff. You can use this. Okay? Now, in order to condense this video and not give you a 30-minute video, I went ahead and prepared the ingredients, so I'm going to read them as I go. Bring the raw broccoli over here. Let's see, am I missing anything else? The seasonings, of course. Okay, first of all, you're going to boil your millet just like you do rice. You're going to boil it in some clean water, of course, and you're going to also boil your chopped mushrooms in there with it. You may want to kind of cut them down a little bit so they won't be so bulky inside of the millet. And this, like I say, this cooks just like rice. So it takes about 20 minutes. You want to add a little oil and salt. So I'm assuming you at least know how to cook rice. So. You want to steam your broccoli next. You do not want to overcook broccoli. Many people, especially many of us Americans, we have the bad habit of overcooking our vegetables, especially our green vegetables. You want to preserve the nutrients, and you also want it to look attractive. When you overboil it, it's going to look mushy, especially when you mix it in the casserole, because it's going to break down easily. Then you have your raw organic broccoli. I'm all about taste, I'm all about health, and I'm also all about aesthetics. The food has to look good. Also, you want to melt your cheese and your creams. You want to combine one of your cheeses, the 2 blocks. This will go on later as a topping. You want to get this combined with this when you're boiling in the pot, the sour cream, the Follow Your Heart vegan cheese, and also your mushroom gravy. Now, we're at the point where we're going to combine all of the ingredients. So I'm going to take my millet, my steamed broccoli. I'm going to break this up a little bit. Now, you can add more millet if you want to. That's 2.5 cups of millet. I recommend, if you have a big family and you want to have leftovers, boil about 3 cups of millet. But I wanted more broccoli than millet in this particular recipe this time around. Get more vegetables. We rob ourselves of vegetables so much, and then when we do eat something raw, it's just like a salad, and it's piled with all kind of things that aren't even good for us. So like I say, get as much organic and nutritious foods in your diet as much as you can, because being on the go, we tend to eat not so healthy. I'm going to add my raw broccoli. And now I'm going to stir this around a little bit. Now, I'm a southern cook, so I'm going to give you the measurements of the seasoning, but I kind of freestyle to taste. I'm all about flavor. Now, I've used the bouillon cubes when I melted the cheese, so I'm going to put this over here to the side. Sometimes I just break it down and knead this mixture with my hands, but I'm not going to do that because it's still warm. And you don't want to make it look too mushy. You don't want it to end up looking like baby food. So you just kind of want to mix it, but you don't want to mush it. Now, I'm going to add a little Bragg's aminos. When you use the Bragg's, I recommend you use 1/2 cup if you just want a balanced taste, because you may not like the taste of Bragg's in your food. It tastes like soy sauce, like I said. A little cayenne pepper. Just a little. I get complaints that it can be too spicy. Get this out the way. And this, like I said, it tastes like the Tony Chachere's, the green can of Cajun seasoning. Now, I'm going to mix in my cheese and cream mixture. I need to get some paprika too. I like to add paprika. Now, the creamier, the better. So, you want your cheese to look just the way it looks right now. You don't want your casserole to look too dry, because when you bake it, it's going to dry out anyway. So you want a nice, balanced, creamy texture. I'm going to add just a little more spike after I mix this cheese in good. And a little more cheese. See, it's not going to look as mushy once it gets baked. Okay, so now that I have a nice creamy texture to my casserole, I'm going to add the spike And then I'm going to put it in the pan to bake. This is going to be delicious. Now you notice it's already cheesy, so I'm going to add the daia and make it even extra cheesy. But one thing, I recommend that you put the daia, I recommend that you bake this first for at least 15 minutes, then add the daia at the very last minute because you don't want to overcook the top of it. It can burn easily, just like regular cheese. Now, I'm going to add this mixture to my already greased pan. You can use the Earth Balance vegan butter or your favorite cooking spray. Sometimes I'll make I won't measure correctly and I'll have more than what will fit in one pan, so I just make an extra pan and use it as a potluck. My grandmother likes me to drop her off a dish of this, so you can never have enough broccoli casserole, at least in my family. Level it out. Alright, we are back after a little technical difficulty. So I'm going to conclude by adding a little paprika. Now I did not list this in the ingredients. I like to add this as a nice garnish because it makes it look pretty. Like I say, I like my food to be aesthetically pleasing because I cook with a lot of love. To add the daia cheese. Now like I say, it's better to wait to add it, but I'm just going to go ahead and add it so you can see what I'm doing. I'm just going to add it on one side, just a little bit. Now you want to spread at least 1/4 of this, like 1/4 cup of this on top, depending on how big your casserole is. You want to cover the whole thing, but like I say, I'm just demonstrating it for you, so I'm only going to put half. And while the casserole is baking, I'll add the remainder that needs to be added. Now I'm going to bake this for about 20 minutes. Now just a tip, you may want to add chicken for those of you who are still meat munchers to the casserole. Now you want to add the chicken while you're mixing everything, when you're mixing the cheese, the millet rice, and the broccoli. Now also, you can use rice instead of millet. I just use millet. So therefore, we're going to just wait for about 20-25 minutes and we are going to enjoy ourselves. Also, you want to add either some garlic toast or something like that to the meal because it is a 4-course meal. You have your grain, you have your vegetables, and you have your cheese. So you have a full meal. All you need to do is just get some type of bread and your favorite beverage and you're good to go. Thank you very much. I'm going to show the results in pictures. Peace and shalom. This is Cheesiness signing off. And don't forget to subscribe.